So Justin Gaethje has talked about yearning for a fight with Islam Makhachev. He talked about how Khabib was his hardest fight ever, and how Khabib just dominated him. And he talked about how Islam would be a better matchup for him. And I agree. I think the striking of Islam is going to give Gaethje a chance. More so than Khabib, who would just directly resort to grappling, which isn't bad. I'm not, targeting or insulting Khabib with that. Khabib dominated in his own way, and he has a right to do that. So it's just that I feel like Islam is going to entertain the striking, and that in itself will give Justin Gaethje a chance to land something huge. And Gaethje is a guy that absolutely can land something huge. Um, of course, there's always the threat of the grappling, and if Islam decides to resort to grappling, then Gaethje's fucked. But if, like I said, if Islam does not and he entertains the striking, Gaethje has a real chance. And I know Gaethje has a chance because Islam entertained the striking with Dustin. He didn't do it for the whole fight. There was a point where Islam had to say, okay, I got to grapple now, and he may do the same shit to Gaethje. So Gaethje has a certain window, I would say, to knock Islam out. And if he doesn't get it done in that window, I think Islam's going to resort to the grappling, especially if the fight is competitive. Islam will most definitely resort to grappling and most definitely submit Gaethje not soon after that or not long after that. So Gaethje has a chance. So Gaethje's talking about this fight, and the way things are going now, I think Gaethje does get the fight if he beats Dan Hooker. You know, I think after a 5-round bloody match with Dan Hooker, Gaethje's going to call out Islam Makhachev for his final fight because Gaethje has been talking about retirement. And I think this is a good time to retire for Gaethje. He's made his money. He's done what he needs to do. Sure, he's had bad losses, but I would call him a UFC legend. I would call him a Hall of Famer. BMF belt winner. The type of fights he's had. Fight of the year with Max Holloway, Hall of Famer. So it's a great career, and ending it on a high note with the title shot against Islam is a great thing to do. And if he beats Islam, even greater. I think he doesn't retire and he tries to defend the belt a couple of times. Just to add a little sprinkle onto that already pretty good legacy. But yeah, I would agree. I would agree with Justin Gaethje getting a title shot after a win against Dan Hooker. I would also agree with Dan Hooker getting a title shot if he beats Justin Gaethje. I think the winner of that 5-round potential fight of the year of 2025 fight gets a chance against Islam. I think that of course should happen after Ilya gets a chance. I'm not too sure if the Ilya versus Islam fight is actually happening. But I would like to see Ilya fight Islam before anybody else. But like I said, the way things are going, Islam talked about how Ilya needs more time to build more of a claim. Ilya saying Islam is scared, whatever, whatever. But it all comes down to what the UFC will do. And in my opinion, I believe what the UFC will do is, take Islam's opinion into further consideration than Ilya's, and to look at a fighter like Justin Gaethje. And if Justin Gaethje has a stellar performance, a 5-round bloody battle that either ends in a decision win or a knockout win in the final round against Dan Hooker, they're going to give Gaethje the shot ahead of Ilya, and they'll let Ilya, not let Ilya, but they'll probably make Ilya stay at featherweight, defend his title 1 or 2 more times. And then, if Islam still has the belt and Ilya still has the belt at no, if Islam still has the belt at lightweight and Ilya still has the belt at featherweight, they're going to let Ilya challenge Islam for a blockbuster fight, that'll probably start 2026 or end 2025, um, or be in the summer of 2025. I don't know. It's just the way things are looking right now. I know everybody wants Ilya to fight Islam. I want that too. I want that to be next. But there's also a great deal of people who are saying that Ilya hasn't proved much yet, especially Islam himself. And I think Dana and the UFC is going to take their voices into further consideration. Why? I don't know. Maybe it's just because the whole Ilya hasn't proved enough yet thing will prove convincing, I guess. I don't think it's too convincing in my opinion. And it's just because, again, in my opinion, I believe knocking out Max Holloway and Alexander Volkanovski back to back should at least earn you a shot at a different division belt, in my opinion. Um, but yeah, a fight, circling back to what the videos act mainly about, Justin Gaethje and Islam Makhachev. A fight between Justin Gaethje and Islam Makhachev is not something I hate. I would look forward to it. My money would, of course, be on Islam, but I wouldn't be too far removed from the possibility of Justin Gaethje pulling off a earth-shattering knockout win against Islam Makhachev. It would have to be, again, in a tight window before Islam decides to resort to grappling. But if anybody could do it, it's Justin Gaethje. Justin Gaethje's a gifted brawler, a tough motherfucker, and he could get it done. So I wouldn't be opposed to him getting a shot after beating Dan Hooker in a 5-round potential fight of the year banger. But overall, you let me know what you think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. But most importantly, subscribe. I love you guys, and I'll see you all in the next.